All right, this is my biweekly. I suppose it's more of a monthly, but Thanksgiving was the last biweekly, so I apologize. I have been keeping track, but just not did the biweekly. Um, so what I've been doing, been working on the OITP variant, specifically the data gathering right now, so I can later put them in AlphaFold and either Autodoc or Rosetta. I'm assuming Autodoc because it's going to be faster, but I don't know. So I got onto the HPCC. Annie taught me how to use it pretty much. I did plug in the OITP 1B1 1B structure, and I believe it worked. I was poking around on it a little bit. It's a little confusing to kind of tell what, like where the actual structure is, but it went through at least. It took a while. It didn't just put out on me in like 2 seconds. So I think should be good. So now I would like to plug all those into the computing core at once, or something like that, and so I'm trying to get all of the amino acid sequences good, and I think I should be all right. I'm not right now. I believe I got all of them. For a lot of it, I had to take an SMP and say, oh, um, I don't know what amino acid this changes, so I needed to find which amino acid change the SMP caused. Which wasn't too hard. You just needed to find the right paper. And then also I'm gonna redo the 1B1 because I'd like to do it in the new version of AlphaFold, the 232, I believe, instead of 200. So in the future, I'd like to gather all those, pretty much good on that. And then plug them into AlphaFold, which I, kind of have some understanding how to do, so it should be good. And then, obviously write the holiday cards. Um, should be fun. So the paper I was reading was OATP 1B1 variants on statins and like heart disease. I believe it's coronary artery disease, specifically. Um, I get this seems like something I should have just known from being alive, but I didn't know that they treated heart disease with statins, and I didn't believe that like pravastatin, I think, was one of the potential Alzheimer's drugs. And I just didn't put that together until I was reading further in this paper. So I was like, oh, that's a little odd, a little cool, I guess. Connections. So it said 1B1 probably responsible for statin transport. They said maybe among other things. So they said it might be responsible for, some people react better to the statin, some people react worse. That might be due to lifestyle, but it might also be due to something in the body, which is what they were looking at. So I believe they were primarily looking at the 521 and 388 changes, the amino acid changes. Or no, that's an SMP change. I believe they were primarily looking at those. I believe they said the other variants didn't have as strong of a impact on the statin transporters, how the body treats the statins or anything. But they said they primarily, I think, generally decrease transport, across the studies that they were looking at, and increase the likelihood of adverse reactions. I do not believe they came to a specific conclusion, like a decisive conclusion. but it seemed like they were trending towards, in general, a variant isn't going to be conducive um to more function, to more transport, at least the ones that are happening in the population right now, kind of naturally. um and I don't know whether this still holds today because it was back in 2010. So definitely a lot of the science could have changed, but I thought it was an interesting paper. I thought it was a cool paper. More info about OATPs and kind of how they affect stuff. A little, had me thinking about it a little bit. It's kind of cool. And then questions, terminal coding. I didn't know that was a thing before I came to MSU, and now I've had to poke around terminal coding to, for downloading Python or in the HPCC. So I just thought that was kind of funny. You know, if that's something I should really, really be paying attention. Like I was saying, paying attention to it now because I'm going to have to use the computing core more. But use um, and then the new version of AlphaFold that they were mentioning in the meeting of the three OATP teams, I think. Like they're saying that it would dock substrates or inhibitors to the structure they're generating, maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure if I paid attention correctly to that point. I was a little confused. Um, Lots of new AlphaFold iterations coming at me. So what's the rumors on that? And yeah, I guess when's it coming out? Because if I could just plug it in my project and say, oh, do all these drugs, then I wouldn't have to, mess around with Autodoc or Rosetta. Like, not that those aren't, valuable to know, but it would be kind of better to knock it out all at once. And then with the DoD scholarship, I don't know, like, do you know anyone who did chemical engineering or engineering in general in the Department of Defense? Um, like obviously getting the scholarship is kind of a while away still, but if I were to get it, it like, is it work that would interest me? Like that's something that I obviously would have to consider. So I'm just curious and stuff. Yeah, I think that's it. I will see you soon. Have a great holidays and everything.